Lewis County Judge Executive Todd Ruckel and School Superintendent Jamie Weddington join us with important local information concerning the latest coronavirus threat. Have a pencil and paper ready to copy down important telephone numbers and web addresses. Superintendent Weddington.
We'll just touch base here a little bit on our meal delivery program. Last night we had a error by our one-call system. Sent out at least an email, maybe a text message, or even some phone calls late last night of information that was from a previous week, so it was inaccurate information. Just wanted to follow up and make sure everyone was aware that we're changing the meal delivery program. It'll be 1 day per week right now, and that'll be Tuesday from 11 to 1. It may change again, so be prepared. We're going to continue to do the meal delivery program as long as we can because we feel like it's a great service to our students and the children of Lewis County. And at this particular point in time, we feel like we can continue on with that, although we are making changes to the program and monitoring as we go along. One of those changes is we would request that you put a tote or a cooler or a box or a red wagon or a little wagon of any type out at your bus stop for us to put the meals in. We would ask that the students be visible from the porch or the garage or back up the driveway so we can tell how many meals we need to put in it. But we would ask that the students or adults, neither one, come to the bus stop area. Just leave us something there to set the meals in so that we can get those delivered and we can minimize our contacts that we have with you and likewise you with us. We feel like this is an important step that we want to add to our meal delivery program, and we would just ask everyone to try and cooperate and provide those a place for those meals to be placed. We've also had a few instances where people are abusing and trying to get multiple buses to stop and deliver multiple meals. And that's why we've made the change to actually having to be able to see the kids that we're delivering to along the way. And we're going to do a better job of communicating with our bus drivers to ensure that everyone is following the rules that are set forth in the meal delivery program, and to also ensure that we can continue on with this. If we feel like that it's being abused or the rules are being broken, then we'll have to make further changes to our meal delivery program. And unfortunately, as the old saying goes, a few bad apples can ruin the whole barrel of apples. So we would just ask everyone to continue to be patient and to add this additional layer of providing a box or a tote or cooler or something to set the meals on so that we can limit the contacts that we have and maximize the social distancing, keeping the children and the adults back away from the bus stop. There's no reason to be able to keep it at least 6 feet. And in most cases, let's keep it as far back as we possibly can to ensure your safety and the safety of our school, food, personnel, and transportation people that are out there delivering these meals and services to the members of our community. So that's our update for meal delivery, and I'll turn it over to Judge Ruckel for an update on what's going on in the county.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Weddington. We give you an update here in the county. We still just have the 2 confirmed cases of COVID-19 here in Lewis County. And as you see, the state and national numbers continue to rise each day. Don't think that our numbers aren't going to go up. They will. They'll continue to go up. That's the reason we try to give you these updates and remind people what they need to be doing that's coming down from the CDC and the national level, along with the Governor Beshear and at the state level. I've said this about every time and say it again, that you please assume that anyone you come into contact with, assume that they have this coronavirus. Assume that you have it, and anyone that you come into contact with, and make sure that you follow the guidance that you've been given. I want to ask you, and I've done this before as well, but we want to continue to pray for our doctors and our healthcare workers. They're out there. We want to make sure that they are able to do their jobs, continue to do that, and those that are sick, while they stay healthy and clear of the virus as well. So we ask you to continue to pray for those folks. President Trump, along with Governor Beshear, have stated that this week is going to be a very, very grim, with the death toll from the virus expected to climb fast. So that's the reason we also ask you, to practice proper social distancing again and healthy at home. This will help us get through this without losing loved one and even potentially our own life. So do your part, and please explain to your kids why they have to do their part as well. Mr. Weddington just explained how that process needs to work. So explain that to your kids why that process needs to happen. As you've heard, Governor Beshear and the CDC officials say we should only be with our immediate families. Also, those that have to continue to work, you can do that, and also just getting those essential supplies for your family. That doesn't mean it's okay for friends to be with dozens of other friends, or from a dozen other families. Be careful of getting out and mingling with those different families. Stay with your immediate family, especially on the weekends. I had several phone calls over the weekend of this not happening. For the large majority, I know are practicing social distancing and healthy at home, but for those that's not, please get on board. Let's practice social distancing, healthy at home, and do our part. If you don't know where your kids are or who they might be around, you might want to ask them, just in case they don't potentially jeopardize a vulnerable family member. Keep up with your kids, know where they're at, explain to them what this process, why we're doing this. At this point, we have that responsibility. We don't truly don't know who is carrying the virus and who is not. So with that, I did sign late last week an executive order on social distancing requirements for those that must be out to pick up essential items. This will help ensure that proper social distancing is maintained. You'll see signs start popping up in the stores this week. The signs will have the rules for shopping during the COVID-19. I'm going to go over a list of those rules before I turn it back over to Mr. Weddington, and then I'll be back to go over a little bit more. But the rules for shopping and these signs that you're going to see pop up, the first one is keep your distance. That is, you're keeping at least 6 feet away from other shoppers and the employees. You should shop alone. Only one adult per household. One adult per household. Do not bring other family members of your household with you. Wash your hands. This goes along with wash your hands and or use sanitizer both before and after shopping. If you wear gloves, change those at each location you visit. Plan ahead. Make it a list. Get what you need and get in and get out. The next one, don't panic. That goes along with hoarding products. They're doing a good job now. These truckers and distributors are out. They're trying to get us the things that we need. So don't hoard the products, which leads to more panic, means others can't get what they need. The CDC come out with you should wear a mask now. They're recommending that you wear a mask, a cloth mask that covers your mouth and nose while in public. There's several folks around the county that's making those. You can get on social media. You can ask your neighbors when you're talking to them on the phone. But find out who's making those cloth masks, and CDC now is recommending that. And the last thing is be patient and courteous. If an aisle during checkout is full, wait your turn to maintain that social distancing. Remain calm and courteous. We are all in this together. That's the rules for shopping. Again, those signs will go up this week. Be looking for those. At this time, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Weddington.
Thank you, Judge. Just as a reminder that school is closed to in-person. We're still participating in NTI. Right now, we're closed to in-person through Friday, May the 1st. We're tentatively scheduled to return on Monday, May the 4th. Principals will be available at all the buildings Monday through Thursday from 8 to 3. You can call and make contact with them. One of the important things that you may need to do is if you've not been receiving your one calls, or if you've not been getting calls from your child's teacher, you may want to call the school and have your phone number, your contact information updated so we can get the correct phone number in the data so that in the database so that the teachers can make contact with your son or daughter and touch base with them and make sure that they don't have any issues with their school work. All of the buildings, including my board office, will be closed on Fridays, and we will be telecommuting. We will all be working from home on Friday. So there will be no one there with the exception of the maintenance men and the custodians, and they'll be cleaning and fixing the repairs. And this is to ensure that we have as few people as possible in each of the buildings. All the teachers after tomorrow will be working primarily from home. They'll be taking advantage of some online meeting platforms, and they'll be continuing with their Google instruction that some of them are using. We would ask, if at all possible, that even if you have to take the paper packet and do the work at home through the paper packet, through traditional means, that you try to submit your answers and your work back to the teacher, if at all possible, electronically. If that means taking your cell phone and taking a picture of your student's work and emailing it to the principal or the teacher, that is the way we'd like for you to go, just to limit the number of contacts and potential exposures through social distancing. So if at all possible, we're asking you to submit your work electronically. The work is available online at each of the schools' websites. We have that there for you. Also for seniors, there's a tab on the Lewis County High School webpage for scholarship information. There are some scholarships, local and university scholarships that are coming up in the coming weeks that are due, and those are available on the high school's website. The KHSAA has also extended its dead period. There will be no use of school facilities for anything related to school sports. That includes the ball fields at all the schools, and it also includes the weight room at the high school. The weight room at the high school is closed. If you're going there during the day and working out, that is not an acceptable use. We would ask that you not use the weight room. The health department has said that we've had some people potentially going in there and working out, and that is one of the first places that was closed down was weight rooms and facilities all across the state. So we would ask you not to go in and use those facilities as well. You should be working on NTI packets 11 through 20 these next 2 weeks. Teachers will be calling and checking in with your student to make sure that they don't have any questions. And the teachers will also be working on NTI packets 21 through 30 in the event that we would need those. We have postponed prom currently back to May 23rd. That was put out last week by Mr. Likens, and we'll continue to evaluate that as this health event progresses. And we will try, if at all possible, to have a prom for our juniors and seniors. That also brings us to graduation. We're still looking at the different ways to hopefully facilitate graduation in the coming weeks or months. But we are committed to having a graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. Not quite sure what that's going to look like or when that's going to take place, but we are committing to ensuring some type of ceremony take place for those seniors. We send a lot of information out through the Lewis County Herald's Facebook page and also their website. We would encourage you to share that information. Dennis has made all of the Herald and radio stations information related to the COVID-19 health event has made it open for public viewing, and we would encourage you to share that so as many people as possible can get the information. If you are not a Facebook goer but you have Twitter, the Lewis County Herald and the radio station both have Twitter accounts, and you can follow those Twitter accounts, and we would encourage you to retweet that information to ensure that everybody gets as much of the information on as many different social media platforms as possible. Again, if you're not getting the one call now information from the school, please call and update your phone number. And if you're not hearing from your child's teachers, please call the school and make sure we have accurate numbers on account on the Infinite Campus account to ensure that we're able to get in contact with your child should he or she need assistance. And the teachers just want to be able to talk to the kids and make sure they're doing okay, and make sure everything is going all right with them as they work their way through this as a child in the coming weeks. So that's all I have for this for today. Get out and enjoy the sunshine and wash your hands and don't touch your face. And I'll turn it back over to Judge Ruckel.
All right. Thanks again, Mr. Weddington. Finish up here just to kind of a reminder, we have been communicating on the local level. We created a local COVID-19 response team. It's made up of a lot of frontline individuals to be able to share ideas and communicate to help keep the residents as safe as possible. We've had several conference calls on how to handle different situations and keep each organization that's involved there updated on what's happening. Although this is uncharted territory for all of us, we want you to know that we are preparing for any situation that may arise. Give you a couple resources here. As I always mention, the Kentucky website is still a great resource for most anything you need. It is kentuckycovid19.ky.gov. That's KYCOVID19.ky.gov. It's got a lot of good information on there, from unemployment to Medicaid to, you name it, it's on there. So look at that website. You can gather a lot of good information. The Kentucky hotline number to reach healthcare professionals for questions is 800-722-5725. Again, that's 800-722-5725. The Lewis County hotline that we've created here, or helpline, is 606-202-8600. 202-8600. That's a local number. You can leave a message. Someone will get back to you as soon as they possibly can. We felt this was a good way to get your questions answered as quickly as possible. I want to reiterate that we are expecting to see a surge in cases in the coming weeks, and that number is likely to increase. This is based not only on the way the infection is spreading, but due to increased testing. Kentucky is planning for some difficult days ahead. We are prepared for that. Collectively, however, we can significantly alter that trajectory of sickness if we continue practicing social distancing, good hygiene, and healthy at home. Back to the Lewis County helpline, that if you have an emergency, please call 911. Do not call that local helpline, as no one will answer. It's just to leave questions and we'll get back to you. If you have an emergency, call 911. So on the way I usually always finish is I always like to remind you of the proper guidelines that have been ordered and recommended by the CDC that we follow. First thing is, remain calm. Remain calm. Wash your hands frequently for 20 seconds and sanitize those surfaces that you frequently touch. If you are sick, stay home, especially those that are 60 and older or have underlying medical conditions. You should stay home. No public gatherings. Only leave your home for necessary business. Avoid crowds of any number. If you must be out for work, grocery shop, any of those essential services, please use social distancing and use hand sanitizer often. Talk to your kids about the importance of washing their hands, staying home, and not gathering to spread the virus. Those that can, take advantage of getting out and exercising when the weather allows it. Please do so. The weather patterns are changing. A lot of good weather coming up. So make sure you get out. You can get out and walk the dog, play ball with your children, clean around the yard. A lot of good times to get out and do such things as that. Just get out for a walk. You can get out this week and do some Easter egg hunting, as we have countywide. People are posting Easter eggs in their windows or in their yard that you can get your kids out by walking or driving in a vehicle, and they can take pictures or try to spot those eggs. I know we can't physically do any Easter egg hunting, but this is a good way to a good family thing to do with your family to get out, be able to get out and do. We will continue to monitor the COVID-19 threat as much as possible and keep the public aware of any information that we get. We want to thank everybody for tuning in today, and thank Dennis for all his good work here on the radio and Lewis County Herald, and helping us, me and Mr. Weddington, make our jobs a lot easier by getting this information out to as many people as possible, and we couldn't do it without him, and we really appreciate his time and effort on that. So, in finishing up, just ask people to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home.
You've been listening to Lewis County Judge Executive Todd Ruckel and School Superintendent Jamie Weddington with important local information concerning the latest coronavirus threat. For more information concerning school delivery of meals and NTI packets, call the board office or school your child attends. The number for the local helpline is 606-202-8600. WKKS will continue to bring you the latest local information on this serious health threat here, as well as on our social media pages.